Is this on the northern side?
Yeah.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. So that's where I saw now we had talked about this. The northern side was more of the working class, and that's why you if you can make the best whatever you can out of it. But I totally agree with your point that we are. I would say what I have seen is like a lot of people don't know. Okay, what's your root? What's your core British cuisine? There is all right. I checked about it. Like,
Mm.
why is Sunday roast a thing? Why? What is it exactly that
Yeah.
makes a full English breakfast and everything around those lines? And there is
There's a
this
reason why those things are.
exactly,
You
exactly.
just lose track of them because they've been served in a certain way for so
Yeah,
long.
and UK has been so lucky to get people all around the
Yeah.
world with the great influences. Then the UK cuisine has a lot of other influences. That's where your part becomes a bit limited, and you start making a fusion of other, which is not at all a bad thing.
Yeah.
But that's the case with that.
So you look at the Sunday roast as a perfect example. Like, what is a Sunday roast? Well, it's just roasted meat.
Hmm.
And we used to be called, like, the French used to refer to the English as a Rosbif because they just like they didn't understand what we ate, because every time they just saw us, we were just eating a roast beef, like a bit of, but we have a lot of beef, like cows grow, like, love it here, I think. So we had cows everywhere. Um, Sunday was the only day you didn't work.
Hmm.
So Sunday was the only day you had the time
Yeah, exactly.
and you're in the place
Mm,
to roast something,
yeah, yeah,
because you can't roast something by not being, you've got to look
yeah,
after it and live
yeah,
in it.
yeah,
So
exactly.
it's not
Yeah.
just shove it in and go.
Hmm.
And it was a day of rest. So you're in there, your oven's on, you cook, and it was just, it's more about the family meal, and that's the only day that you can have it.
Yeah, with your
You
family.
know, then you start looking and you go, well, fish and chips. Like, what is fish and chips? Well, and there's a story behind everything, like in cultural dishes. It's just that in the UK, we there's no way of saying of another culture coming in and going, oh, I can see that's how everyone cooks.
Hmm.
Yeah. So you go to India, you can see how everyone cooks. It's like a cooking style. It's like,
Hmm.
India. That's why you can go to an Indian restaurant. Like we were talking about previous about accoladed restaurants, that you can go to Gymkhana and the style of food you're going to get in London. It's
Uh,
two
huh,
Michelin
huh,
star restaurant.
huh.
You kind of understand that there's no such thing as a British restaurant, because what you're going to get, like, it's hard to understand, isn't it? Like, you just get a selection of dishes.
What do you think about Browns? Because I just do the
Well, it's
stand
like
up.
a French brasserie, isn't it? That does
Is it?
some English dishes, yeah.
Okay, okay.
So it's like the closest you would get to an English restaurant is a pub,
Oh
like a
man.
country pub,
Okay.
where you would go, and what would you get on the menu? Maybe a pie, your fish and chips. But really, if you go back a long time ago, what would you get in a pub? You'd get like stews, pies, pots, things like that. Like,
Hmm.
it's just hard to see a cooking style. And I think that's the thing that people, it's not a culture. There is a culture. We know what grows here. We know how we would cook it. There just isn't a cooking style. And I think that's where everybody gets confused, because actually, to contradict that, if you actually look back and think about it, there is a cooking style. It's just one pots, we call them. So you would just put everything in a pot and cook it, and you cooked it however you could cook it. So tater ash is exactly that. It's a tater ash is our version of curry.
Okay.
Like, you put it all in the pot. We're just not as lucky as you, because you have loads of spices. Like, we don't.
Do not say that you I'm so sorry. It's not you or anything around those lines, but I feel bad that India was a colony to British and still they couldn't take spices.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
we're idiots. Because our culture was, you just shove it all in a pot.
Yeah.
So we created curry, because we saw this as we went over to India, and we saw that style of cooking, and we translated that to the way we cook.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
way we cooked
Uh-huh.
was to get this pot, and you put it all in and you cook it. That's it. Like,
Yeah. There is.
over a fire. There's no intricacy.
Yeah.
So when you so you talk about a spice blend, and for each dish you're making, you've probably got a different blend of spices and a different way. What we do is we make curry powder. And we go, well, what's curry powder? It's like, well, it's all those things that you use together in one. Because then we can put it in the pot
Oh.
and cook it.
Okay.
Because that's how we understood cooking. You
Hmm.
got your ingredients, You put them in the pot and you stewed it, and that was
Okay.
it. You just cooked it for a long time, and it's funny because I don't mind that. Like that's what we do. And if you think it's the same, it's not the same. I don't want to insult. I don't want to insult anybody, but
Brief.
you cooking a stew
Uh,
can be just as intricate as cooking a curry or any food of any culture, because what you put in it and the ratios that you do, like it can completely and utterly change it.
yeah.
So the tater ash I was talking to you about, which is like minced beef, potatoes, and onions. Well, that's what was available in this region. A lot of potatoes grow in Lancashire and Cheshire. Cheshire, you get a lot of dairy production, so you would have a lot of beef, ex-dairy cows, which you don't really eat for roasting because they're quite tough, old cows. So you would mince it, that goes in. And onions grow really well in and around Cheshire and the area. So
Yeah, the veggies are good as well.
yeah, so that's swede, turnips, all these kind of things.
Parsnips.
This is, and it's when you think about it, like actually, if your basic ingredients are that, you don't really. It's not that you don't need the spices, but you have flavor. Like swedes and turnips, they taste of a lot. Like
no, they do. I promise you,
yeah,
they do. But when you come from where you are from your when you're 1 year old or where you know what a spice tastes like. So when you eat that and you go like, that's it. Why is it so not bland or like whatever? I agree. My Spanish colleague says to me that, oh no man, your taste buds are burnt. And I'm like,
too many flavors.
yeah, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
but then still I don't enjoy this then.
Yeah.
Then but can you, yeah, please.
But what people, again, I think what's been overlooked over time is that once upon a time, like we wouldn't have just been cooking potatoes. Like if you go out in the English countryside, and this is what people like Simon Rogan and this kind of like revolution of foraging has done. If you go out and look in the English countryside, there is actually so many herbs and roots and things that taste of stuff. It's amazing. Like there's like scurvy grass, which is a leaf that grows by the coast, and it tastes like very, very strong horseradish, almost like wasabi. It's so spicy.
Wasabi, okay.
Yeah, it's like, it looks a bit like wasabi, actually, the shape of the leaf. You have, so you have wild, like ramsons, you have three-cornered leeks, all these things that are like alliums. So they taste like garlic, they taste like onion. You have horseradish roots, So actually, it isn't just the meat, the vegetables. Once upon a time, I'm pretty sure people would have been going out and getting those equivalent to spices, that grow wild, things that taste of aniseed. They're all there. We just lost the ability to utilize them. We're so scared of picking mushrooms now in the UK.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's because all you get told as a kid is don't eat mushrooms. Don't eat wild mushrooms. Like there's so many wild mushrooms that you get. There's just one or two that you shouldn't.
I'll tell you a joke on this one, okay? Breakfast, we were serving, our Irish chef and us. He is very great cook. And this mushroom toast, he put some mushrooms on it and we served it. And then our waitress came in and she tells us that me and him that, oh, this guest complained saying that, oh, mushroom toast is good, but there are too many mushrooms. And me and him are
Should
laughing.
just be button mushrooms. Yeah.
And me and him are laughing on it.
Yeah.
And every single day or like whenever we think of it, Chris, no more mushrooms, all right?
So this is, I mean, you can say it in whichever way you want. Like there is a food culture, or there was a food culture in the UK, in England, in Scotland, and Ireland. What we've lost is the education. Nobody knows how to cook anymore.
Can you tell me 10 British dishes? I can help you. Shepherd's pie, and then there is a toad in the hole.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah, but this is.
I
wouldn't. So I wouldn't even go. So if you said to me, give me 10 British dishes, I would go, well, it's a roast dinner. It's a stew.
Okay.
It's a casserole.
Oh yeah.
It's braised meat. It isn't dishes. Okay. It's styles. People create dishes with ways of cooking. Okay. So it's a style of cooking. So if I say to you, well, you give me 10 Indian dishes, like a dish, like fish and chips. You tell me an Indian dish that's like fish and chips.
Like fish and chips,
Exactly.
no.
Because you have a way of cooking
Yeah,
in your culture.
yeah.
We've lost that. What we've got is when you go to a pub and you've got 10 dishes on the menu, you will have roast dinner, fish and chips, gammon, egg and chip. You'll have these dishes,
Oh,
and it doesn't make sense.
okay.
Like, what is gammon? Gammon is like a steak. It's pork chop, but it's cured. It's bacon. But it's with chips, and it's a style of cooking. It's a grill. Yeah. So what is a roast dinner? Well, what's roast beef? It's a roast dinner. It's a style of cooking. It's not just roast beef. You can roast lamb. You can roast beef. You can roast chicken. You can roast any meat. What do you then serve it with? Well, you can serve it whatever you want. You serve it with vegetables. But what constitutes that style of cooking is you roast some meat. You cook vegetables in a sympathetic way to the meat, and then you'll have some kind of starch like potatoes or something. We don't use rice because
There is no.
we never grew rice here.
Yeah, exactly.
We grew potatoes here, and we only really grew potatoes when we got them from America. So what did we cook before potatoes? Before
Meat.
Before 1672 or whatever it was when the Americas were discovered, because that's where the potato came from.
Okay.
So before that, what did we cook?
Meat. If I'm
Meat,
not wrong.
yeah.
Yeah.
But instead of potato, yeah, turnips.
Yeah.
Neeps.
Parsnips, carrots. Yeah.
So if you look at rhubarb now, everyone sees rhubarb as dessert.
Okay.
Yeah, we cook rhubarb for dessert. We put loads of sugar in it, and we eat it like once upon a time, rhubarb was a vegetable.
Oh.
Rhubarb was an accompaniment to goose. So any fatty meat, they would cook rhubarb as a vegetable to go with that. So when you talk about styles of cooking, it's not, this kind of like the French culture of the way they cook. That if you go to rural France, again, it'll be all potage. It'll be, coq au vin is like a casserole almost. Like there's a style and a way of cooking, and ultimately, it doesn't matter what country or culture you go to.
There's a certain style of
It's
cooking.
a style of cooking, and more often than not, what that involves is one pot, put it all in, cook it. What's it going to taste like? It's going to taste like the ingredients you have in your
Absolutely. Yeah.
Indian curries, Indian style cooking. Doesn't matter where you go in India. It's a pot of sauce, isn't it? It's like a stew.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Now I'm getting it. Now since I mean, there are people who go like, oh, one of the person goes like, oh, tell me one dish which is not curry. I go to him and say like biryani.
There's no such thing.
No. There is biryani.
Yeah.
and he looks at me for goes silent for a minute. Oh yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah. But that's the point, isn't it? So I think
no, I understand now.
That's the challenge. In the UK, all we've ended up with is 10 dishes.
Yeah, I mean, you can still build on that. Like it can go better.
We don't have to build it. You go back.
Oh yeah.
That's where do those dishes come from?
Absolutely, yeah.
Hawksmoor is a steak restaurant. Yeah. Well, what is a steak restaurant? Well, it's a steak restaurant. They cook steaks. It's a style of cooking. Well, that's British food. It's steak cooking. You get a cow, you chop it up, or you get a pig, you chop it up. You get a lamb, you chop it up, and you cook each bit of it. That's a steak restaurant. That's a style of cooking. You can also do the same, but you can roast it. The key elements to our cooking is you have vegetables, you have meat, and you cook them together, either in a slow roasting. Because if you imagine like a Sunday roast, right? A Sunday roast wouldn't have been what it is now, which is, your three vegetables, your potatoes, all served separately on the table. You would have had a tray, one tray or one cooking vessel. You'd have had your meat on the top, and you'd have had your potatoes, your vegetables, whatever it is on the bottom. You would cook the meat over the vegetables, whether that's on a spit.
Oh, that's how you get the Yorkshire pudding, right? If I'm not wrong.
So this.
Sorry.
No. So this is the thing. So a Yorkshire pudding, when a Yorkshire pudding used to be a dessert.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So Yorkshire puddings are a batter:
Yeah. Yeah.
eggs, flour, milk.
Yeah. Hmm.
What what like what would you normally make out of eggs, flour, and milk? Like
Yeah.
cake.
Yeah.
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 The only thing missing is sugar.
Uh-huh.
So it's a cake. You used to
Okay.
have it for dessert. They would make, and how did they make it? How did you cook it? You put it in your tray, like you made your batter. You had your tray of fat. When you're roasting meat, what do you get a lot of?
But
Fat.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you render the fat out.
Mm-hmm.
So you make your roast dinner. You have your big piece of beef. Underneath that, you'll have all your vegetables, root vegetables, potatoes, and as your meat cooks, they cook in the fat and the juices underneath. You can then take them out. In the tray, you have all the fat and the juices. Yeah. So you take off the fat, put that to one side, and in your tray, you're left with the juice. That's how you make your gravy.
Yeah.
You pour your water in,
Mm-hmm.
you boil it, you make your gravy. Bit of flour, thicken it, strain that out. That's your gravy. So then, in the tray, you
Mm-hmm.
put the fat back. You get the fat hot, and then you get your batter, and you pour it into the tray in the hot fat. You put it back in the oven, and your Yorkshire pudding cooks. Traditionally, you'd have eaten your meat and your vegetables and your gravy, and then you would have gone to your Yorkshire pudding. You'd have got a bit out, put it on the plate, and you'd have put jam on the top. And that's your dessert.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. So
Interesting.
when you actually break it, go backwards,
Mm-hmm.
you understand what the style of cooking is.
Mm.
That's then when you understand the culture of what it was. Because you had vegetables and you had meat and you had one tray. You didn't have an oven with
Yeah.
6 burners on it,
Nah.
you just had a big oven. You had, the thing in your house that kept the house warm, and it had a fire inside of it. Well, it would be the hearth, so you have a big mantelpiece, and inside there you had a big fire going, and you would cook your meat in front of that fire, and you'd have your vegetables underneath it, and it's a style of cooking that, so when you talk about a stew or a casserole, it's the same thing. You have a big fire in a hearth, and you would have some kind of contraption to hold up a pot, and you'd put everything in your pot, and you'd put it in front of or over the fire or in front of the fire, and it'd just cook. And that's because that's how we live. That's how we had a house with a big fireplace in it, and everything got cooked on the fireplace. You didn't have a kitchen. There's such things as a kitchen. There's a fire.
Mhm.
The same, I imagine, if you go back far enough in Indian
Yeah.
culture.
This is where I would just like tell you quickly that the Indian cuisine, about the thing which was going on recently, the stove, the chulha. Yeah. Uh, I made a video about this thing called the stove, which is the Sweden thing, aga, I guess. Yeah, and the chulha, which is like just the fireplace, but
Yeah.
that's the regional word for it. A lot of Indian families, when they came over here as migrants before, when the visa was not a thing, 1987, before 1987, so they came over here with that chula, which was like very portable.
Yeah.
So that's a fireplace, but it's a portable fireplace like this.
Yeah.
Like that's it. That's the only difference. And
Yeah.
then I mean, British houses, Victorian era, and whatever are way different. Like
Yes.
what Indian housing is. And then you have to be portable, and then you have to make sure that everything is right. And that's where it was a small fireplace to do whatever you want to do on that.
But why do you have that in that culture and we have the way we do it? If you look at the country,
Mhm.
right? So here, well, it's like just said how cold it is when you come in here, and it's coming into spring now. So most of the year, you have a very short summer where the weather is okay, and even at night it's cold. But so what do you need if you live in the UK? You need to be able to have heat all the time. So you have a big fireplace, you have a fire going virtually all the time, and that keeps your whole house warm. And you use that. You're not going to then go somewhere else to cook, are you? You're going to go there and cook because that's a big fire. So I can't imagine, well, obviously in certain areas, but for the majority of India, I can't imagine it's cold very much.
No.
Yeah.
27 degrees is
Correct.
normal.
So when do you need to light a fire?
When we need to cook.
Correct.
Yeah.
So your style of cooking is light the fire and we'll cook on it.
Hmm.
So your culture didn't learn to cook in front of a massive fire that was there really to keep your house warm. Yeah. And the more you break it down like that, the more you realize where the
Understand
culture comes
why
from.
way the things
Yeah.
are.
I love going to the Alps. I love going skiing in the French Alps.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at what the traditional dish in the French Alps is, it's tartiflette.
What?
Tartiflette.
Tartiflette.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like a ceramic dish, and in the bottom you put chopped onions, you put chopped potatoes, and you put chopped bacon, and then on the top you put white wine, and then on the top of it you put reblochon cheese. It's like a washed rind, soft, like medium soft cheese, and then you bake it. Now it's the same thing. Without boring you, you break it down and you look at each element and say, well, why is that in it? And you go, well, that's because that's what they had. It's not rocket science,
Yeah.
And then you go, well, why did they use reblochon cheese? It's like, well, that's because that's the cheese they make there,
Okay.
and they make it in the summer, and they wash the rind because basically, when they make it in the summer, it's got to see them through the winter. Because when you've got 3 foot of snow, you're not growing anything, you're not making anything, you're in your house, and that's it. And they put this, it's called Alsace bacon, so this hot smoked bacon. And they go, well, why did they put that in it? Well, because in the house, the middle of an alpine house would be they're made of wood, but would be a massive stone chimney with a big hearth in the bottom, open from multiple sides because you have a big fire and it just heats the whole house, and a big chimney that goes up. Now, when they, going into detail here, but
No, it's all right. Yeah.
when they slaughter their the pig that they've been growing over the summer that lives in the house during the winter, every year, you go through the process, you do that and you end up with your cuts of meat, you cure them in salt because you need them to last the winter. And then what do you do with it? Well, the only place to kind of like stop it going off is in the chimney, because the hot smoke keeps all the flies away, keeps the rot away. So it's like smoked meat, anything smoked is preserved. Yeah. So they used to hang like the belly bacon, the pork belly, on a hook up the chimney. So the fire's going completely. It's not necessarily where the heat is, but it's where the smoke is. So it's permanent. And every time they want to make the dinner, they go and get it, they pull it down, they chop a bit off, cut it up, put the rest of the belly back up there. And it sees them through the whole winter, all these, you see what I mean? So like, if you look at the way people used to live out of necessity, but then the things, the processes they created because, well, actually that's what they had to hand. This is the way they lived. So if they do this, that works. And then they can, and what's this dish? This dish, yeah, that is synonymous with the Alps now, with France, tartiflette. That dish is just all the things they had in a pot.
we are back to the pot.
Yeah. So it's that. And again, there's a lot of talking there and a lot of boring, but basically that's the way my mind. And once you break that down, you realize that. Then when you come into an environment like this and you're trying to create something, like, you don't need to represent that every time. But if you understand that and you think about that, you can then come up with a reason why all the things you do are representative of the vision, and you just cook in a way that kind of like makes sense.